Where am I at? Where am I at? Where am I at? Mic test, mic test. Why isn't it show the full thing? Hold up, chat. I'm still trying to figure this out. What the fuck? I'm gonna have to restart. That's about as good as it's gonna get. Maybe it's because I'm not full screen. I think that's the reason. Alright, chat, let's lock in. My questing buddy's on. Damn, the lag is crazy right now. The lag is crazy. Damn, chat, we can't even get into Ambrose 1. How unfortunate. I'm gonna do some questing on my balance. Cause my questing buddy's not online. They lied. Damn, I got 2 credits. Alright, let's do it. I got to, bro. I'm 2 off Pixie. I got to do it.
Oh no.
Yo, chat, rate my Stitch 1 through 10. I got the best gear on this game. Yo, W chat, bro. W YouTube. Alright, hold on. I gotta give that guy a like.
Oof, good work, wizard. What an irritating disturbance, no? Hopefully, the microfiche of Data Atoll will be less salty to me. Incredible. Data Atoll is even more beautiful than I'd imagined. Hurry now, my friend. The microfiche await. Meet me on the... Ah, there you are. Behold, this elegantly simple pool is your sacre bleu. do not. Look.
Oh shit. Let's go ahead and do it. Oh shit, we sacked up. This shit just restarts.
Oh no, we were boarded. We must swiftly but humanely swab them from the deck before more show up and disrupt our fantastic voyage any further. Irritating this stuff to make.
Kayak told me hotel prices just dropped. Now we can finally stop travel hacks.
Hey, free phones!
To get you to talk. They can read all of your memories with the exception of your name, and may take the form of a loved one, or even, unknowingly, one of the other players. You might hear a familiar voice calling out to you, or face your darkest fears, but you must never speak or remove your mask. If a spirit is able to call a player's name, they will tear that player to pieces. The most horrendous death awaits one who loses this game. Their skin will be peeled from their still living body, their limbs will be twisted and contorted in the most inhuman ways. As their last gurgling breath leaves their body, the spirits will take their soul. They will be a spirit the next time the game is played. They may only earn their freedom by winning the game. As a spirit. Number 4. If a player faces a spirit, it may be forced to flee with a flashlight. The spirits fear the sun and will flee from the light, but be warned, this is a temporary safety. The spirit will return after a moment when it realizes it has been fooled. The spirits do not like to be tricked. They'll be furious afterwards. After a few times, the spirits may not flee from the flashlight anymore. Number 5. The game is over when either all the players have been caught, or the sun rises at sunrise. Any surviving players are declared winners. Congratulations! You may now remove your masks and speak freely. Winners of the game are, from now on, gifted with the greatest of fortune and the best of luck. However, you may notice that not all the spirits have left after the game is over. Maybe you'll see something out of the corner of your eye and turn to find nothing there. Maybe certain objects will not be where you left them. Maybe you'll notice a few more things going bump in the night. You should start preparing, because the real game has only just begun.
Away, and do not return.
I've been narrating creepy stories online for almost a year now. I've even written a few of my own. The thing about recording these readings is that I always have to slip myself into the mindset. I have to become the character that I'm reading for. Their fear, their rage, their desire. I make myself feel those things too. It used to be difficult, but it's gotten easier and easier now. On one hand, that's a good thing for doing these readings. But on the other hand, it's scaring me. I'm scaring me. I've always had these really dark thoughts. It's just how my mind works. I suffered from bouts of depression since I was about 8 or 9. Combine that with the fact that I can only really express myself creatively. You can guess that my imagination can get a little, well, fucked up. The things that make people snap. The thing that's in someone's mind that makes them lust for a kill. It's always fast.
What if you never had to build another web scraper?
Sometimes I wish that, but then I lost an hour. I don't know what I was doing in that time. I just remember that one minute I was finishing up editing and recording in my office, and the next I was standing in my bedroom. Later that night, I found one of my kitchen knives stuck between the couch cushions while I was looking for the TV remote. It sliced up my thumb pretty bad. I got blood all over my couch. And knowing what I know about these stories that I'd read, I didn't just write it off. I didn't ignore it, thinking that I'd had some kind of mental relapse while cooking dinner. I didn't lie to myself. Something was wrong. I lost an hour. And in that time, for whatever reason, I put a knife in my fucking couch. It's been going on for 5 months now. I'm too scared to get help. But I know I need to. I keep having these blackouts and losing hours more and more often. My clothes in my closet will be completely organized in a maniac OCD order. Same with my kitchen, my bathroom, my laundry room. I'm not obsessive compulsive like that. It's not typical behavior for me. I mean, let's be honest. All of a sudden having an organized house isn't really something to bitch about. I know, but it's not just the organizing. There's things that evidently I'm doing during these blackouts that are concerning. I don't smoke, but I found a carton of Marlboro Lights in my car. My nails are bitten down to where my fingertips hurt all the time. I never bite my fingernails, but now the tips of my fingers are all red and scabbed and just a mess. Sometimes I snap out of it for just a few moments and I'm just standing in the middle of this open field a few miles away from my house. I'm alone. I'm just standing there staring at the trees about 100 yards away. And then I have another blackout. The next thing I know, I'm in the shower. 2 weeks ago, I woke up with arms draped around me. I didn't know who they were, but they definitely knew me and said they'd call me later. If they did, it wasn't me that answered. I can't even begin to tell you how violated that makes me feel, but it's not like I can go to the cops about it. They don't know when it's not me and when it is me. And I know if I try to explain that to anyone, I'm liable to end up locked away in an institution or be called a liar. And then to top it off, the journal. Handwriting so small, I'm surprised a human actually wrote it. It looked like my handwriting, but different. Just wrong. There were insane ramblings about being impure and wrong and having to rectify the situation, and then it turned into shadows and demons and voices and other batshit crazy paranoid sections mushed together that I can't keep up with. None of it made any sense. Between the insane ramblings were drawings of screaming men and women bound and bloody. I've been drawing all my life. I know my style of what I create, and these drawings were done by my hand. There was no question in my mind. In the past couple of weeks, I've been seeing things, little flickers of something in the corner of my vision. I think I'm getting sick. I feel weak, and my balance is off. My stomach is always queasy. It reminds me of that one time that I got food poisoning when I was 15. I tried not thinking of what that sounded like. I couldn't face that. But I knew something was seriously wrong with me. That field was always in the back of my mind, the one that I kept waking up in. There was always something off about that field. So I went there last night. I drove out, I took a flashlight, walked all the way to the tree. And you know when you get that I have to do this feeling, you don't know the reason, but you have to do that one thing. Otherwise it'll bother you for who knows how long. As soon as I reached the tree, I had that feeling. There was this big rock resting about 2 feet away from the tree. It was almost too heavy to move, but I managed to roll it to the side. I started digging, having to use my hands. And right where the rock had been lying, I got about a foot down into the dirt, maneuvering around roots and scooping handfuls of soil out of the way. There was a moment when I had a thought. What the fuck am I doing? But I shoved it out of my mind. There had to be something there. There had to be. I was right. It looked like it was covered in foil or mylar or something. It looked like the top of a box. There was a handle, so at that point I just said fuck it and pulled it out. It probably weighed 10, maybe 15 pounds, and I think I sat there and stared at the large silver box for maybe 15 minutes trying to decide if I really wanted to see what was inside. I took a deep breath, and then I opened it, and inside of the silver-insulated box was a cooler. I knew how this looked. Knew how this story would end, but I was still trying to tell myself whatever I could to not think about what was really happening. Inside of the cooler were jars. My entire body shook as I took them out one by one, and inside of the jars were, I could only assume, bloody pieces of organs and flesh and muscle. Like I said, I'm too scared to go get help. I can't be locked away. I can't. Anyway, the next thing I knew, I was in the middle of my living room, covered in dirt with blood all over my hands, and I had blacked out again. There was this taste in my mouth. It was familiar, but nothing I had really acknowledged before. I ran to my bathroom and frantically started washing the blood off my hands. It was hard to breathe or process what I didn't want to process, but then I looked into the mirror. Reality was like a hot knife being plunged into my gut. That same thick, dark blood that coated my palms and fingers were smeared across my mouth and cheeks like some bastardized war paint, and I screamed. But I didn't scream because I knew what I had done. I didn't scream because I finally had to face my reality. because there was no way I couldn't deny it anymore. I screamed because I imagined myself doing those things I was doing during my blackouts. My mouth watered, and I licked the blood from my lips. I wanted more.
So, I just want to say thank you for listening to the 24-Hour Horror Radio. And if you're enjoying your time here and want to help support the show, please check out patreon.com/MrCreepyPasta, where you can support with just $1. Or, honestly, any support is just to like this and subscribe to the channel and check out some other videos if you find a story that you really like. I'm going to let you get back to the stories.
The clouds twisted as they spun into themselves. Not because of any sort of wind, but guided only by an unruly chaos that works against any kind of logic or reason. It's almost pretty how it looks, playing against the orange sky of the eternal dusk. How would any of this become normal? Most days I'm not sure I can remember what a normal sky is supposed to look like.